Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I am taking a long lunch and then I'll go back. I'm taking 2 hours. So, anyway, when I got into my car, the first person's name that came to my mind was Fran. Francine, let me tell you about Francine. Francine was a beautiful girl that I used to work with. She was a couple of years younger than me, and she had a daughter, and I had my two boys. And she was a higher executive assistant than I was. I was like in the exterior office, and she was in the interior office. Well, we worked for this company that did special services for persons with AIDS. And I guess I'm thinking about that because this is Pride right now. And so I swear to God, I haven't thought about Fran in so long. And if Fran is trying to find me, I pray that she does. Um, she was just an awesome, awesome person. I loved her personality. I loved just the way that she was. She was beautiful on the inside and the outside, you know. And our boss, or he was the director of this nonprofit agency. His name was John Lenore. Well, I didn't know nothing about John Lenore and or anything like that. It was just a nonprofit, and I had been doing nonprofit work. And I was just, as always with me, I'm just looking for the ability to be able to take care of my bills. I never applied for any job that I'm not qualified to do. Okay. And I like the idea of helping people. So the person who originally started the nonprofit was a black man. I can't think of his name, and I want to say the name of the agency was like Over the Hill or something like that. And it was in Third Ward, a really seedy area. I think I don't think I got the job through a temporary agency. I think I got it through a job board or something. I went in and applied for the position, and John hired me. And so I used to go to work every day. I really loved the job. Um, I learned a lot about homosexuality and how you can't judge a book by its cover. And I always did outreach in my job. So even though I did office work in the office, I also would go out into the field um, in the evening. And I normally brought my boys with me. Okay, so we would be handing out condoms and stuff like that to prevent HIV, so that, and would be teaching safe sex. And so around the Astrodome area off of Alameda, it was a place where prostitutes would be at, right? And so I used to go over there, and I would bring condoms and stuff to hand out to the working ladies and stuff and talk to them. And we will also have an opportunity where they would be going to the free clinic to get different services, and the clinic directors will let me speak to the ladies, answer questions, and give them information about counseling, because we would have group where they could come and talk about their situation and how they feel, and what's going on with them, and just what they needed help in doing. Usually they needed a lot of support because, of course, by them being homosexuals, um, or streetwalkers and things like that, their families had disowned them. A lot of them had drug issues, self-esteem issues, needed to get their GEDs, stuff like that. And so I would, even if we did not have the services to be able to do it, I could refer them to another agency, United Way agency, that would be able to help them. So that's what I did. I love doing that. I love meeting all the directors. I love learning about the services that they provide and being able to refer different people in the community to them so that they can get assistance, help, support, and of course, their final services. Whether, like some people were murdered, a lot of the trans girls would be murdered because, and this is, I always thought that this was funny. Now, when it comes to trans women who are acting like men, they wouldn't get killed by their, by a lady finding out that, okay, this is not a guy, this is a woman. But the men, when they found out that this trans woman was really a man or had male genitalia, they would kill him. So when that would happen, then we have to go through victim services for whatever it is that they needed. If they were just attacked, then their hospital bills, therapy, stuff like that, victim services would take care of because they were a victim of crime. And also, if they were killed, then their burial services, cremation, that was hard. Picking out clothes for them to wear because we would have to rely a great deal on their friends because they didn't have family. And it's so sad when mothers and fathers don't support their kids. It's a lot more to it. I'm not gonna get into it, but I loved this job. The way that I left the job was because John Lenore laid me off. He laid me off without pay, and I remember him. Okay. I guess here's where the rubber meets the road, or this is what my point is. I made a lot of great friends, a lot of great contacts. I was very proud of my job. I was proud of what it was that I was doing. My older brother had been friends with John Lenore because my older brother is much older than me, like 30 years older than me. And he did not tell me that he knew John Lenore. He was just asking me questions about my life and stuff like that. I didn't even meet him until I was in high school. All of my older brothers and sisters, I didn't meet them until I was in high school. And I thought that we would be just this great family, blah, 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 blah. Well, come to find out that wasn't it at all. They didn't like the fact that my dad even made me with my mom. As if that's any of their business. I never, ever, and some people are like that. I'm not like that. You know what I mean? I'm not the kind of person who gets all up in my parents' boudoir. Whatever they do, that's their business. I don't get into it. If this is my family, this came from my dad, this came from my mom, I treat them a certain kind of way. Unless they treat me bad, then I'm like, long handle spoon, But anyway, my brother didn't tell me nothing. John, I'm his employee. He didn't tell me nothing. Nobody tells me nothing. John lays me off and I am pissed. I have a nice home off of Myrtlewood, 3-bedroom house, big backyard for the boys, big front yard. William had came over and pruned my trees for me, and I had painted, my entryway and stuff like that. Nice. Ron was there. Ron helped me in a lot. He was always at my house, okay? Because number one, Ron worked for pretrial services and he worked in downtown and he lived way out on the north side. He worked a graveyard shift. So it was easier for him to come to my house on the south end than for him to drive all the way to the north end to his house. And a lot of times he would park his Benz behind my car and I would just take his Benz to work, and drop the boys off at school and stuff like that. And I would pick them up from school in Ron's car. He's at the house asleep. So that's what I would do. Meanwhile, John Lenore is, this is what I heard, okay, from somebody else. And this is another man. Gossiping. They say ladies gossip. Men gossip too. So this man told me that John Lenore felt like I was there to get into his business and tell my brother. I don't know if John Lenore and my brother had a sexual relationship or not, but what does it sound like to you? That's what it sounded like to me. I think that they was doing the do. And they had a lover's quarrel. And John thought that my brother told me. And my brother thought that John told me. So I'm in the middle of their breakup. Right? Nobody tells me nothing. And I don't know if they told Fran or not. That's why I'm sending it out through the wind. Fran, find me. Because I would like to know if John ever told her. Because she was his assistant more so than I was. I was like the assistant to his assistant. That's basically what I was. And not really, I'm lying. Me and Fran would come to work on the weekends and be doing filing and stuff like that, accounting. I have had quite the life, honey. And most of it wasn't my fault. Was not my fault, okay? There's very few things that have happened to me because of a direct result of my actions. Okay? Now, with John, I didn't even know my brother had nothing to do with this. This was strictly between me and my boss. I was mad at him for laying me off. And I wanted to get revenge, and I did. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I got revenge on him. Did I eventually lose the house? Yes. My car? Yes. Me and Ron broke up because, and again, I never understood why John laid me off. John never told me. My brother never told me. The only thing my brother did was he gave me like money. And it wasn't a whole lot. Let me tell you something. I knew that there was something not right about my brother. None of my brothers and sisters. They were way older than me. They should have been more of a help and a resource for me. And they wasn't. They wasn't. My mom didn't tell me nothing. Whew. It is what it is. Like I say, that's why I'm not in Houston to this day. Anyway, after that job, I got another job. And I ran into Fran. She was executive assistant over at the Houston Reed Commission. I don't know where she is now. And I've been gone. Oh my God, it's got to be like 20 years. But I remember Fran. And I remember a time in my life where my job was to help the homosexual community in Houston, and I worked really hard, and I did what I was supposed to do. I was very helpful. I listened to all of the stories and that people would tell me. All those people are dead now. They're all dead now. So, to all of the LGBTQ, if I'm saying it right, community, happy Pride Month. That's what I wanted to say. And to all the people that are, you know, homosexual and everything, those that I've helped and those that I've known, I want to send a special, special, special hello to you all and let you know that I'm all the way in Seattle, but I still think about y'all. I still think about y'all. I have not forgotten you. I remember you. And, as the month goes on, I'm going to share some more stories about some gay and lesbian people that I have known and were friends and that I helped. This one lady, let me tell you something. She was so crazy. She was like, if you ever think about going over to the other side, she was just so crazy. This woman, anyway, and she's gone too. So many people over on the other side, To all of my friends that are on the other side that I helped, please look after my son and please help my children and please help me. I just signed an offer yesterday and I heard back bright and early this morning, 6 a.m. Everything looks good. Please continue to pray for me. I'm praying for you. They're doing a special vigil. Y'all, I'm on the verge of just... because they're laying George Floyd to rest. And it's raining. And you know what they say when it rains during a funeral? It's a good sign. So I'm going to leave it right there. Because I feel a certain kind of a way. I feel all my friends, I've never forgotten them. Never, never, never. I want to call out a name, Moon. Moon was a friend of mine when I was in junior high school, and he was very nice to me. He was very nice to me, and he was gay, and he was fabulous, and he was very demure. He wasn't flamboyant, very classy, and he was older than me. And he did not have to be kind to me, but he was. And I remember always going to visit Moon. I would always go by and his house, and he was a wonderful host. And he had lots of stories to tell, and he would show me whatever project he was working on. He was an artist. And he was just all that. He was all that. He was refined. He was dignified. He didn't I'm sorry, y'all. His art was the love of his life. You know, his art was the love of his life. He was very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. And you know, I've made videos before where I talked about Moon. You know, he was awesome. He was awesome. And I know he's been there for me my whole life. You know, helping me from the other side. Because I've had a pretty damn good life. It's been really fabulous, let me tell you. Great experiences. And they weren't fake. It was the real deal, honey. Even in my job now, that I could take off from work for 2 hours for my lunch. Honey, that's Moon. You hear me? That's Moon. I'm not doing him justice, though. I want to do for Moon on when I go to have my 2-hour lunches, to go and get a massage and a facial. Because that's what Moon would do. Because he's just all that, honey. All that. He was fabulous. And I really miss him. Like I said, during Pride Month, I just think about all the people that I love and who love me, and all the great memories and all the places that I've wanted to go and all the fabulous stuff that I've did. I know it's because of their love for me. They made ways for me and opened doors for me, honey. You know, one of my most favorite memories. I am so sorry, y'all. I didn't plan on doing this. I just planned on talking about Fran and being done. So I'm going to tell you this. One of the most favorite things that I do with my boys is go to California, to La Jolla, and be able to go and eat Ben & Jerry's, because they had a Ben & Jerry's shop in La Jolla. And we could go and sit on the beach and watch couples get married at sundown and eat our ice cream and listen to the seals. And there were cliff squirrels and stuff like that. And it was fabulous. And like I said, I really believe that despite the things that happened to me that was not my fault, there's been so many more things that have been so wonderful, and I'm so grateful for them, and I've got more great stuff coming, so stay tuned. Bye, y'all.